Okay, as first introduction, I would like to show you a video that summarizes the functionality and usability of the tool as a central repository for managing and sharing terms, concepts, and reference codes in general.
Do you use and share a common terminology in your data exchanges and applications? Are you tired of searching over and over again for the permissible values? Missing a way to point at them, checking whether you are using the correct or the most updated version? Registry helps you streamline these tasks. Registry offers a central repository for consistently managing and sharing terms, concepts, and, in general, any kind of reference codes across communities and organizations. Users can easily search, browse, and download registered content in different formats and languages. Content can also be easily accessed and reused in an automated way, enabling its consumption and exchange between systems and applications. Organizations may find in Re3gistry an easy way to manage semantic assets, even in international contexts, following best practices and international standards in the field. Unique identification of registered items ensures control their changes over time, allowing you referencing any of their different versions. Registry also incorporates formal collaborative workflows to manage change proposals transparently, including in complex organizational settings. The registry is a highly reusable, open-source interoperability solution supported by the Digital Europe program. Initially developed to support the European spatial data infrastructure, Registry is widely used by the geospatial community and is now available to any organization needing to ensure semantic interoperability. An increasing number of users and communities are already benefiting from it. Curious to know what Registry can do for you? Download the software now. Want more? Whether you are a user or a developer, join the Registry community to learn, get support and contribute. Registry. Sharing meanings, connecting minds.
One of them is the Docker. Docker has a cross-platform consistency. It's compatible across a range of systems and environments, and makes the developer's job easier, as it's always consistent across all platforms. Docker containers are cloud-based, so they don't require tons of active memory to store all the data, and has a high-speed deployment, eliminating redundant installations and configurations. Makes deployment fast and easy to any end. It has also a high flexibility and scalability friendly. Developers can use any programming language and scale container resources as needed. It's the backlash of Docker is it requires a more initial setup to configure all these containers correctly. Next option will be Tomcat. It provides an easier setup and fastest deployment, as we on the GitHub already have the needed files just to copy onto the Apache Tomcat and start working with them. It has the advantage that it has been for many years, more than Docker. So there's a lot of information and error solving by the community around it. And we have also the option to go with Osio Live. It's basically a Tomcat deployment, but it's a Ubuntu-based distribution that allows you to try a wide variety of open source geospatial software without having to install any of them. For testing purposes, this may be the easiest way to deploy and test a simple instance of the software, and it allows you to try and make sure this is what this covers all your needs, and it has all the features you need. And we will talk also about the migration option. A sort of dictionary, the registry software relies heavily on user input and to help administrators upgrade from previous versions to the new versions. This software includes a migration process designed to adapt data from the old version to the new database schema. This process is fully automated. We choose a basic configuration, as we will talk in a minute. You can transfer all data to the new version without losing any. The problem with this is that it has some requirements. As the registry software uses some kind of unique identifiers that must be stored in a concrete manner. So it's important to do all changes by the software, never manually. I'll show you a quick video to demonstrate the installation process, as it's a very simple process. So the first point is to create a, so to speak, a master user account, which will be with just an email and a password. It will be the manager of all the instances. Then you have the choose or installation or migration, and also the workflow, if you want the complete workflow or just a simplified workflow. As you see, the installation is pretty simple. And here is where we have a lot of configurability, as we can choose not just all the master language of the master language, also all system languages that will be available for users to change between. Once you've selected your languages, you just need to enter a base URL. This will be the URI, sorry. This will be the base for your the base for all your items and the local IDs. The local ID will be the name of your instance, it's fully customizable, and will be the label is the name, and it will be appear on the landing page, and it will be the main name of your instance, and the content summary, which is sort of some a brief explanation of what your registry is it's about. Next, we have a confirmation screen, which will take all the needed steps to complete the installation on a new deployment. If we go back one step with the username, with your main user, here we have a second option, which is the migration option. As you can see, this is very easy and user-friendly way to migrate, as you just need to add the access data for your old database, and it will configure all these fields to get all your information out of your old database. As you can see, it's a very straightforward process. It has no complicated steps. You just need some basic information, and that's all you have to do. I will let Arantza proceed with the next points on the representation.
First of all, I will present the application in a general way and talk briefly about each of the functionalities of the menu in the administration. Through this presentation, my colleagues will explain later some of these sections in more detail. The menu options are visible depending on the user logger. This user has all the full permission, so we are able to see all the options. Okay, the admin tab is the home page. Here the user can see the list of pending tags. Now we don't have any pending tags, so it's empty. Okay, the content tab is the main part of the system. It allows both browsing and editing of any registers and reference codes contained in the system. Okay, this is the part, the structure tab, where gives the user the access to manage the data model for each entity in the registry system by adding and managing the fields and their properties. Later, my colleagues explain with more detail this. Okay, the submitting organization tab contains the detail of the actions done by the user belonging to the submitting organization. Here we have some actions pending to be published. The control body tab contains the details of all the actions submitted, allows to decide, for example, whether the action related to a change proposal is accepted or not. The registry manager tab. Okay. The registry manager tab contains the details of the proposed actions, list grouped by registers. And finally, the registry manager tab has the highest privilege in the system. Is composed of 4 sections: actions, users, group, where he can manage all the users, groups. He can manage the groups and create new groups and so on, and data export. Okay. A new feature that has been implemented recently is the language selector in the administration. And we encourage the community to make contribution and improvements to this translation. For example, if you select in German, okay, you can see that the labels and all the things are translated in German. Later, I will share in the chat the link to contribute in GitHub to contribute for these translations. Now I'm going to create a new register in Content tab under a registry. This is the registry. It's a hierarchical structure. So, for example, I add a register. I am going to fill all the field. Oh, sorry. Apart of the information fields, you can also define groups that are going to have different roles in this particular register. This means that a group can have different roles in different registers. And save. The addition of a new register within the registry can be done only by a user that is the registry manager. This creation does not need to go through the different steps that are implemented because of the ISO 19135, and in this case we are able to publish directly this declaration of the registry. Okay. Okay, now I am going to explain the workflow that I have commented later that change proposal should follow. For example, the creation of reference and the creation of a reference code pass through different steps. No, assuming that I am submitting organization, I want to introduce a change proposal, adding a new reference code on a specific register. No, for example, I have created this register, and I want to add one item. I add here an item. Okay, I put the identifier that is in draft status. I save it. And I have write this draft item. This item can only be edited by the user who started the change proposal. And now the next step is to submit for approval this proposal to the control body. I'm going to submit here. This is the action that I have created. This is the sample item that I have created. So now I'm going to submit this change proposal to the control body. I can introduce some information about the change. Okay, and now the next step is in in control body side. Control body is a technical expert of group that make decision on the content of the register. Once the item is done, it go to submitted status. Okay, now the control body has to take a decision, no, and on this proposal, and he can approve good change, and reject. In case the change proposal is approved, the status will be accepted. So the control body accepts the item, and it is in accepted status. And now, and finally, the change proposal goes to the registry manager, who verifies the proposal. He can access to the action and see the details of the actions here. He can see what has been proposal and publish the item. Yeah. So if I go to the content, I can see the register that I have created. And now the sample item that was a change proposal and now is invalid status. Okay, to summarize, we can see the different status and the roles that have the change to change the status. No, draft is when the submitting organization creates the proposal, and in this case creates an item, a reference code, submit the proposal to the control body. The control body accepts, or he can accept with change and back to draft, or not accept. But in case of accepted, pass to valid status, the registry manager can publish the change proposal, and it will be available in the front end. Okay. And when the item is valid and published, we can the item can go to these three status. Okay, invalid, it's considered an error or a valid reference code, and generally it's replaced by a new valid reference code that will be the successor. Supersede, the reference code has been replaced by a new or a different valid reference code. And retired, when a reference code is no longer recommended for use and its replacement is not planning. Okay. I'm going to see a video where we can see how to put the reference code in these three status. Okay, and I will access to the register. We can see that we have the three items that we want to invalidate, to retire, and to supersede. Now the three items are in valid status. And okay. Okay, we are going to start with the invalid item. And if we click in more actions, we can see the three status. Here we can put a successor, is optional, not mandatory. And we have the proposal with the status that we want and the current situation. As you can see, this change needs to go through the workflow that previously I have explained. Control body accepts or approves the proposal, and later the register manager also can publish the proposal. And we can see that inside the register, that the item now is in invalid status. Okay, now we are going to see how to supersede an item. Supersede is when the difference between invalid and supersede is that invalid has an error and supersede is simply replace it. Okay, now supersede. Here also we can add a successor. We can see the difference, supersede and valid. This is the and now we are going to go to through the workflow to the control body. Approve. And finally, the registry manager published this change proposal, and the item will be in supersede status. Okay, now you can see that now it's in supersede, from valid to supersede. Okay. And now we are going to see how retire anything that has the same workflow, but in this case, no, there is no successor. In this case, we don't have to enter a successor because it simply replaces it. Body accepts and approve. And now publish. Now is in retired status.